two identical rectangular prisms each have a height of 90 centimeter. The base of each prism is a square and the surface area of each prism is k centimeter square. If the prisms are glued together along a square base, the resulting prism has a surface area of 92 over 47 times k square centimeter. What is the side length in centimeter of each square base? Okay, now what I'm going to do is first let me draw two identical rectangular prisms with square base. Here I have drawn two identical rectangular prisms over here. Okay, according to the question, the height is 9 centimeter for each prism. Let me mark the height over here is 90 and 90. And the base of each prism is a square. So the base over here, it's a square, this is square, and this is square. According to the question, I have to find the side length of each square base. So now let me assume x as the length of each side of the square base. So here also we'll have the x. So now my aim is to find the value of x because I assume x has a side length in centimeter of each square base. So when x is the side length of each square base, and what is the area of the each base? So it will be x square because side times side. So the area of this one is also x square. So this one is also x square and this one is also x square. Okay, now according to the question, what we need to do is the two identical prisms over here have to be glued together to a single rectangular prism. Okay, now let me stick these two identical rectangular prisms. Let me do it. Here the two rectangular prisms are glued into a single rectangular prism. So for this one, the base is x square over here. The base area is x square. And here also the base area is x square. And the total height will become 180 because 90 plus 90. And please remember the bottom portion of the first prism and the top portion of the first prism went inside when the two prisms are glued together. So now the surface area of the resulting prism will not include the area of the square at the bottom of the first prism, the area of the square at the top of the first prism. Okay, now let's go with the question. So the base of each prism is a square and the surface area of each prism is k centimeter square. That is the surface area of each of these two prisms is k centimeter square. So the surface area of this one is k and the surface area of this one is k. So then what is the total surface area of these two prisms? So for that we have to add k and k. So when I add k and k, I'm getting 2k. 2k is the total surface area of these two identical rectangular prisms. Okay, so from this total surface area of these two identical rectangular prism, I am going to subtract the area of the bottom portion x square and area of the top portion of the second prism x square. That is x square plus x square. I subtract 2x square from the sum of the areas of these two prisms. So what does this expression represent? So this expression represents the area of the resulting prism. So because I just removed the area of the square at the bottom of the first prism, the area of the square at the top of the second prism. So from the total area 2k. So since we removed this area of this portion, this area of this portion, so this expression represents the area of the resulting prism. So because these two portions went inside when the two prisms are glued together. So as I said already, the resulting prism will not include the area of this portion and this portion. So now please remember this is the area of the resulting prism. According to the information we have, the area of the resulting prism is 92 over 47k. So it can be equated to 92 over 47k. Okay, now let's simplify this one. So here we have k, here we have k. So now we can combine the like terms. For that, let me subtract 2k from both sides. When I do so, positive 2k, negative 2k will cancel out. On the left side, I'm getting negative 2x square. On the right side, I'm getting 92k over 47. Negative 2k. Okay, now we have to do subtraction between a fraction and integer 2k. I assume this 2k is integer. So whenever I do addition or subtraction between a fraction and an integer, so what I need to do is I have to multiply the integer part by the denominator. So once I'm done with the multiplication, I can take this denominator 47 as a common denominator. Okay, let me do it in the next step. That is negative 2x square. So I'm writing this 92k as it is. Now I'm taking this negative sign as it is. I multiply this 2k by this denominator 47. So when I multiply them, I'm getting 94k. Since I multiply this integer part by this denominator, now I can take this 47 as a common denominator. Okay, now let me continue over here. That is negative 2x square equals to, when I combine 92k and negative 94k, I'm getting negative 2k over 47. Okay, here we have negative 2, here we have negative 2. To get up the negative 2, I multiply both sides by the reciprocal of this negative 2, which is negative 1 over 2. Let me multiply both sides by negative 1 over 2. So this 2 will cancel. Here the 2 will cancel. Negative 1 times negative x square will become positive x square, because negative times negative will become positive, equals to negative times negative will become positive, and k times 1 is k over 47. Now I have to solve for x in this equation, because x represents the side length in each centimeter of the square base in each prism. Okay, for that I have to get rid of the k over here. So what is k? K represents the surface area for each of these two rectangular prisms. So to get the stuff which is equivalent to k, I have to get the surface area of one of these two rectangular prisms. So to get the surface area of this rectangular prism, what I need to do is I have to add the areas of all 6 faces. Already I know that the base at the top, the base at the bottom are squares. So to get the total surface area of the two bases over here and here, I just have to add x square and x square, then I'm getting 2x square. So this 2x square gives the areas of the two faces, one at the top and one at the bottom. And now we have to add the areas of the remaining 4 faces, and each of the remaining 4 faces is a rectangle. So with the dimensions 90 and x. So because already we know that the height of the prism is 90, so this 90 becomes one of the sides of the rectangular face. So the other side is x. So now the area of each rectangular face is 90 times x, that is length times width. So now to get the total area of the 4 rectangular faces, I have to multiply this 90x by 4. So 4 times 90x. So this 2x square includes the area of the two bases, one at the top and one at the bottom, the two square faces. And this 4 times 90x includes the area of the remaining 4 rectangular faces. And I'm getting k equals to 2x square. When I multiply this 4 and 90, I'm getting 360x. Now I got some stuff that is equivalent to k. That is, I solved for k in terms of x. Now I can plug in this stuff for 2x square positive 360x for this k over here. So then I'm getting x square equals to 2x square positive 360x over 47. Okay, when I multiply both sides by 47, let me mark some more area over here. Okay, now in this equation, I multiply both sides by 47, then I'm getting 47x square equals to 2x square positive 360x. Okay, now if I subtract 2x square from both sides, I'm getting 45x square equals to 360x. Now let me subtract 360x from both sides, and I'm getting 45x square negative 360x equals to 0. The greatest common divisor of this 45x square and 360x is 45x. So I can factor 45x out. So if I factor 45x out, I'm getting x negative 8 inside the parenthesis over here. So that is, if I distribute this 45x to this x, I'm getting 45x square. If I distribute this 45x to this negative 8, I'm getting negative 360x. So now the product of these two quantities equals to 0. So whenever the product of two quantities equals to 0, either the first quantity equals to 0 or the second quantity, that is x negative 8, equals to 0. Okay, now to solve for x in this equation, I have to divide both sides by 45. When I divide both sides by 45, I'm getting x equals to 0. And to solve for x in this equation, I have to add 8 to both sides. When I add 8 to both sides, I'm getting x equals to 8. So now I'm getting two values for x. One is x equals to 0 and the other one is x equals to 8. Actually, x represents the side length of each square base. So the side length of each square base can never be 0. So we can reject the first solution of x. So now we can accept the second one, that is x equals to 8. So that is the side length of each square base is 8 centimeter. And we find 8 in option B. So the correct answer choice for this question is option B.